Humongous. He sent me some information. So these are the questions that the fans have for you. Hey, Thekla, how are you?
Hey, good. How's it going?
It's not bad today. I had a lot of classes today, so I'm a little bit, but otherwise,
I feel.
hey, Thekla, how are you?
Hey, good. How's it going?
It's not bad today. I had a lot of classes today, so I'm a little bit, but
I feel you.
otherwise, not bad, not bad. Oh, are you in the gym?
Cool. Yeah, sort of. I mean, this is like a multi-purpose room. It's like a gym, but it's also where we get changed. It's like a huge room.
Oh, that's dope, though. That's dope. Yeah, I was living in the gym
Yeah, it's,
for a while too
it's
before this.
actually
I'm sorry?
really.
Yeah, before
We
this
have a
whole
bad
COVID thing.
connection, I think.
Yeah. So it's been storming all day here, so the connection's a little bit
Ah,
slow.
shit.
Yeah. Can you
Okay.
hear me though?
Okay. I can hear you. Sometimes it gets a bit like brr, and
Okay.
we're a bit. I think we have a bit of a time difference, but
Yeah.
if we do it like slowly, I think we're gonna be fine.
Okay. So yeah, we'll work it out, but I won't take a lot of your time. I know you're busy and you have a match
Okay.
coming up in the morning. So
Yeah, I have to get up really early actually tomorrow. So yeah, but it's
all
gonna
right,
be
so
fine. Like
uh,
yeah.
we'll go ahead from here. And then, a lot of the fans or a lot of our audience here, we're lucky enough to have a World Underground PH audience that's tuned in. And they did get wind of you guys over in Austria. I'm sorry. So,
Classic mistake. It's all good.
yeah, so, they want to know more about you guys. And I did
Shoot.
reach out to Humongous. He sent me some information. So these are the questions that the fans have for you. Um,
Hmm.
Before we get into that, though, what is the everyday life like over there in Japan right now with the COVID-19 situation?
Mm, it's weird. It doesn't feel that different, I'd say. I don't know. I mean, of course, like when shit really hit the fan, it was a bit, nobody was on the streets and everything. But now, I mean, to be honest, I don't really like get out so much
Right,
because
right.
I'm at the dojo, I'm training a lot, so I don't know about other businesses, but we're still doing our shows.
Oh, that's
So
awesome.
and summer is super busy, always like wrestling season here. So
Yeah.
we're working a lot. Of course, like with restrictions and being
Mm.
like careful and all, social distancing.
Right.
But it's business as usual, although people are, being cautious and everything,
Yeah.
you know.
You got to be on your toes. So, I mean,
Exactly.
my wifey is supposed to go to Japan as an English teacher, and I'm telling her I'm trying to
Cool.
tag along because I want to go there. I teach English as
Do it.
well, but I want to go there also for the wrestling aspect as well. So I'm a little
Do it
jealous
for
of you
sure.
right now.
Yeah, a lot of people seem to be. I mean, it's been tough though, it's like
Mm.
when when it all started, I didn't know what was gonna happen. I
Right.
didn't know. I mean, I was here by myself, like no family, just like all the foreigners left, so I didn't really know
Oh,
if I'm gonna be like stranded here or how
right.
bad it's gonna get.
Right.
So it's like, what's gonna happen? But
Yeah.
it turned out to be like a good choice, because it's bad everywhere.
Right. Exactly.
So
Well, that's good to hear, though. I'm glad that I can understand that situation where you're feeling a little bit of trepidation and wondering what's going to happen, and then it
yeah,
works out. So that's great.
yeah,
That's awesome.
yeah,
Right on.
yeah. I was lucky for sure.
Hmm.
So yeah, we didn't stop training also. So I got like a lot of extra training in,
Nice.
and it was just I was just doing my thing.
Well, let's get into your career. I mean, like I said, a lot of the fans
Hmm.
want to know about you, and I've been watching your tapes. I've been watching your previous matches. So for anybody that's tuned
Yeah.
right now, don't let the good looks fool you. This is not a damsel in distress. So I think guy or girl, if she gets you in the ring, you might get twisted up into a pretzel. So I give you that. So
That's true.
when did you debut in your career?
I was celebrating my 3-year anniversary like last month,
Mm-hmm.
so it hasn't been that long actually.
Oh, nice. Well,
When I had my,
congratulations.
thank you so much.
That is
Yeah,
dope.
it's
Mhm.
been quite a ride since then.
Okay. Well, 3 years in this, I'm a newbie myself. I'm a baby when it comes to the pro wrestling industry. So 3 years to me, I know how much you can learn in 3 years. So
Mm.
that's outstanding. That's awesome. Yeah. So what sparked your interest in pro wrestling to begin with? I mean, usually girls don't get into a sport as rough as pro wrestling. So how did you get into it?
I don't know. It's a bit of a coincidence, I think. But then again, I'm into a lot of things that girls are usually not into, I think.
Right.
So when I was around 17, 18, I started to go to a lot of concerts, like rock, punk concerts, And then at some point, we saw this poster, and it was like a promo poster for a wrestling show, and it
Mhm.
looked really cool. So we just went there without.
Uh-oh. Are you there? Okay, so we seem to have a little pause or a snag in the
Like super close to the ring, and like people beating each other up and doing those crazy moves. We're like, what the fuck are we watching? This is awesome. So that's how it started. Then we got into WWE, and then we saw that there is underground wrestling in Vienna, which we hadn't known either. Looking it up, like what's going on in my town.
right.
So then we hit our cellar,
Hmm.
the Weber Knecht, and saw for the first time. Yeah, I was 19 or 20 maybe.
Uh-huh.
Saw the WUW shows,
Right, right.
and from then on, I became a fan. And then I think 2 years later, or 1.5 years later, me and a couple of friends were like, yeah, we should all be wrestlers. How cool would that be, And so let's all go to training. But none of them went. I was the only one going.
You're the only one
And
that stuck it out.
yeah, I was the only one like, okay, who's left? Me. Okay,
Mm.
fuck it, I'm gonna do it.
Yeah.
And I went, and it was extremely painful, but I was like, yeah, that's awesome. I'm coming again next week, guys.
Right, right, right. And
So
I
yeah,
think, as a performer, as a in-ring performer, there's a little something in our minds that sets us apart from everybody else. Because a lot of people,
I think so too. Yeah, I think.
yeah.
Mm.
Go ahead, go ahead.
I think yeah, wrestlers are not normal people.
Yeah, no,
I don't know.
not at all.
There's there's something that for sure sets us apart. I think there's a lot of things actually. You have to be cut out of a certain kind of wood, I think,
Right, right.
to be able to withstand that pressure and high levels of pain.
Exactly. Tell me if you hear this from your friends. It's something I hear a lot.
Hmm.
When I tell them about matches or I'm excited for an upcoming match or fight, I hear this a lot. You're crazy. Are you sure you want to do that? You're crazy.
Yeah, I hear that a lot. But it's usually people being like, "What?"
Yeah.
Like they don't understand. A lot of people in my circles, they're like they have never seen wrestling. They don't know anything about wrestling. They were like I used to be. So when I tell them, they're usually like, "What?
Mm.
You're what? You're a wrestler? What's that like?" They
Yeah.
have no idea.
What?
So and then they're like, "Yeah, you're crazy. Are you crazy? What's wrong with you? Why would you do that to yourself?"
Just a little
But
bit.
I mean, they don't understand. you know.
Well, I don't know. I think for me, personally speaking, it triggers something in me that it helps me to cope with everyday life. When you're dealing with pandemics, you're dealing. Recently
Mm,
here, we had the volcano going off, or whatever stress you
yeah.
have. For me, it's excellent stress relief. So
Yeah.
that's my personal take.
That's true. It's been for me, it's been like that as well. Like before I started wrestling, I used to be so much more tense and like stressed out and like, aggressive also. And like while you would consider, some people might think, okay, when you do wrestling you get more aggressive, but
Right.
it's not true. That's you just let it out, basically, and then you calm down. I'm a lot more balanced since I've been a wrestler,
Yeah.
really.
It's like training martial arts. When you learn how to
Yeah.
fuck people up, you kind of you kind of
Kind
just
of chill.
yeah, you get chilled out. Like small things don't bother you as much. You're just like whatever.
That's true. That's true. I completely agree with you. It's it's like it's stuff that happens in your daily life. You're just like, yeah, it's not as bad as taking a bad bump. you
Exactly.
know,
Exactly. So let's talk about your
Getting
character.
smacked in the face.
Oh God. Oh man. Yeah.
Oh, my character.
Getting smacked in the face. It brought up an anecdote. I'll tell you about it sometime. But yeah, your character. So what's the story behind your character, and what was the inspiration?
mm. So basically, I started off with just stuff that I'm into, because I play in a couple of bands. It's like punk and music background. So
Really? Okay.
yeah, yeah. So that sort of stuff, like just a bit of an intense attitude, coming in the ring was like stuff that I would do on a stage as well, like power
Yeah.
and violence. So, but it was just basically me just amped up a little bit, classic story. But recently, like after some stuff happened here, I've decided to become a bit more of a scary character, somebody who doesn't, I mean, yeah, doesn't always do everything like according to the rules.
Right.
It's
Right.
like put up. I got some more because my character is based on a spider
Hmm.
basically. It's like the moves I do and the mentality also very quick, but also a
Calculating.
bit calculating exactly. So
That is sick.
um,
That's dope. I
yeah.
never heard anyone describe their character like that. That's pretty good, man. I like that. I like
I
that.
mean, the thing is, it's like my name. Thekla is my real name. So, and
Hmm.
that's it's like there used to be this kids show about a bee, and
Hmm.
it's like in the 80s. So
Hmm.
my name is very rare, but in that cartoon that everybody knew, there's this spider that's also called Thekla, and she's like the only mean person in the whole cartoon. So everybody would always say like, "Hey, like, oh, that's your name, like the spider and that thing." And I was like, "Yeah, yeah." So I thought, okay, like body wise and the way I move, that's
Hmm.
like a spider. And then I've got this thing with my name, so let's just stick with that. It really works out.
Nice.
So yeah, I like don't want to say spirit animal, but that sort of
Mhm.
feeling.
No, I get it. I get it. So how does that the yellow chain that you're carrying? How does
Oh
that
yeah, that's me.
yeah, how does that fit into it? Does it represent anything?
Um, So the thing is, when I first debuted, I came out with a chain. It was like my weapon of choice. It was a metal chain. But then recently, I found this yellow chain. I was looking for a new weapon. Like I
Mhm.
looked everywhere in the building, and there's like a bunch of stuff. And then I just came across the yellow chain. I was like, this is perfect because it's like the color is great. And then I was like, I haven't been using like a weapon in a long time.
Mhm.
So I felt like, hey, why not use something that I'm like that I know that I'm used to.
Right.
So it's basically, yeah, the chain is just a great weapon in general. I love, you can whip people around,
Mhm.
and in general I like to choke people out. So the chain is perfect for that as well.
Mhm.
And it's like something you can rip around. You can just smack somebody in the face with it. It's just a great tool.
Brass knuckles and everything.
Exactly.
That's dope. So how many of your opponents that you faced in Japan or Austria in Europe, who are some of the toughest ones that you faced so far?
Some of the toughest ones. like in Japan, there's a lot of tough people here. Like the wrestling, it's like the strong style is really, it's really something. For sure, I was fighting like 2 days ago. I was fighting Tsukasa Fujimoto. She's our ace, and she's one of the best Joshi wrestlers in Japan. Like I think 3 years ago she won like in Japan there's a year award in Japan. So she's super tough. I had a singles against her. She's really good. And then our current Ice Infinity champion Maya Yukihi. I had a singles with her as well. She's also super tough. Like her knees are like she does like running knees and shit. Like gotta be super careful of that.
Yeah, yeah.
I hate stuff that comes directly towards my face. I'm like, no, I'm terrified.
You hear this from your friends. It's something I hear a lot.
She's very tough. She's also currently one of the best Joshi wrestlers around here. But in general, everybody who is like in Japan, the stakes are super high. So I had to really step up my game when I came here, and I was also like lacking a lot of experience because the first 2 years of my after my debut, I had like all together maybe 12 matches, 12, 13 matches. That was all, not even maybe. So when I first came here last year for 6 weeks, I didn't know how to bump, I didn't know how to work in a ring at all. So, and these girls, in my schedule now is like I have up to 3 shows a week, Before that, I had 3 shows a year,
Right.
My first year, I had 3 shows a year. And here it's like, bam, 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 bam. So seeing the girls like working hard and being like super in sync and like, it's crazy. They got crazy skills. So I was like, oh shit, if I want to keep up with that, I have to work extra hard,
Exactly. Yeah. I'm taking that as personal advice. Like I said, my goal is to head over to Japan myself. So hearing that, and this is on the women's end, how tough they are and dedicated, and you yourself stepping up to that level. So yeah, I think anybody that's tuning in, listening, planning to go to Japan should take that into consideration.
For sure. Like Japan, like next to Mexico and America, like the States, it's like they love it. They put their heart in it. They like the fans also. They expect a lot from you.
Right.
So it's just you got to be really good here, but but it's also they respect somebody who's just really trying very hard. You just have to have the right attitude. I think this is the most important thing here. You just got to come here and show that you're willing to learn, and they'll be like, okay, we can work with that.
Right.
So I think most important in Japan is actually your like character and personality. I think depending on where you go, because you can't do that ego shit, that you would encounter maybe in Europe or in the States,
That's what I was just about to ask you.
Yeah.
What if somebody comes across? I want you to tell us, like, really what would happen if somebody comes to Japan and they're like, dude, I'm the fucking best. Nobody can beat me. I'm the top of the food chain.
Yeah.
What could they expect?
So they can expect the Japanese to be extremely polite, very enduring. They're gonna do their thing, but that person's gonna go home and it's never gonna be invited again.
Yeah, that's what I was.
So that's how it works, I mean, you're not gonna get, told off or anything. They're gonna stay quiet, they get in and they're gonna be like, yeah, never again.
Fuck that guy.
Sayonara. Exactly.
Yeah, no, like I said, I teach English to pay the bills. So my Japanese students are like that as well. And what I love about my job is...
Oh, you got Japanese students. It's awesome.
Yeah. I have Japanese, Korean, Chinese. But I love meeting people from different cultures and then learning as much as, like I tell them, I learn as much from them as they learn from me. So, yeah, my Japanese students, they're big on that. They're very polite. Yeah, it's okay. They're not going to say nothing, but Yeah, you're just not going to be invited back. And for me, I think that would be the
Exactly.
worst thing ever. That would kill my
Right.
it would kill my ego. Oh, dude, I've never
Yeah.
no one's hitting me up. What? I, I fucked up. I fucked up. I fucked up.
Yeah, I imagine that. I mean, you have to be very persistent here too. You know, you have a lot of people here also wanting to be wrestlers. You know,
Right.
everybody, like a lot of people want to go to Japan, so you have to be really pushy also. You know,
Mhm.
and they might decline at some point. You know, for some time. But if you're really like, come on, I really want to do it. Let me in, let me in. At some point, they're gonna be like, okay, we're gonna give you a chance. You know,
Right.
that's
Right.
that's how it works around here. But if
It's
you get the chance, go to Japan. It is the best place for wrestling.
Oh, I'm definitely gonna go. Like I said, well, thank God I got hooked up with World Underground Wrestling, so that's one avenue I'm looking at. But like I told Sensei Fugo, I'm gonna bug you. It's like that old martial arts movie trope. I really want to learn, and they turn you away. And dude, I'm the type of dude I'll sleep on the porch
Yeah,
every night until you open the door. But yeah, that's awesome. I'm glad
yeah,
to hear these stories.
that is the spirit.
So, what's the main difference between Austrian wrestling or European centric wrestling and the Japanese wrestling scene?
Sorry, the connection's a bit bad right now.
Yeah, it dropped out a
Uh,
little bit.
yeah, it dropped a little bit, but I understood what you said. I'm just gonna answer. What is the main difference between the European and the Japanese wrestling scene? I think, yeah, I mean, you can start with styles, of
Mhm.
course. You know, the I think the main difference, first of all, is Japan sees wrestling more as a sport. You
Right.
know, it's a bit, yeah, it's more of a sport, and then entertainment comes next. You
Mhm.
know, when you compare America and Japan, for example. But except for that, it's it's a lot. There's a lot more going on than
Mhm.
in Europe, for sure. I mean, you're in Tokyo. I don't know how many promotions there are just in
Mhm.
Tokyo. You know, countless. I mean, especially in summer, you have. I think you can encounter a wrestling show every day. You know,
Damn.
yeah, and on some days, of course, on the weekends, there's multiple shows sometimes.
Right.
You know,
Right. Right.
so that is one thing. Then there's the audience. The
Mhm.
audience is very different from what you would get in Europe. You know,
Mhm.
it's like it has its downsides, which would be like they are very silent. They can be very
Right.
silent. You know,
I heard that.
so like very quiet. But that's mostly because they're very concentrated while watching you. You know, they want to see every move, so they have no time to get drunk. They are very silent, just be
Yeah,
like, there's no time for that because they love it so much. They want to see every detail of what's going on in the ring.
I like that. I respect that. It's kind of like
So, and then of course their culture in general. They're not. They're just very, very polite and very, very seated.
nice, nice. Yeah, speaking of the audience, it seems like they're very, I wouldn't say critical, but very attentive, maybe.
Yeah,
Really, really paying attention to what's going on. Yeah.
yeah.
Nice. I like it.
So those are some differences.
Mhm.
Mm.
Okay.
What
So,
else? Yeah.
I'm sorry. Please continue.
No, I can't. I can't. There's many differences really, but I can't.
Mhm.
I can't think of anything like crazy different right now. Please
Okay.
go ahead with your next question.
Okay. So, how about any dream matches? Let's say any promotion. Do you have
Hmm.
dream matches?
There's a promotion that I really want to go to whenever I get back to Europe. That is called Pro Wrestling Eve. Do you know
Mhm.
of Pro Wrestling Eve? They're based in London, and they're an all female promotion with like
Ooh.
a punk feminist attitude, which I'm like into. And they book the best female wrestlers of the world. You know, they
Mhm.
have crazy names they have the best Joshi wrestlers there, girls coming from Japan. They have the best people from Britain, and when American female wrestlers are touring, they also go there. And it's like, and they put up some of the best matches,
Mm-hmm.
So that's a promotion I really want to hit when I get back. Dream matches. Like the first dream match that I want to do is with a friend of mine. I don't know if you know her. Her name is Aisha Raymond,
I
and
don't know her personally.
she's a British wrestler, and I met her last year here in Japan. She works for another Joshi promotion called Seedling.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I met her here, and she's really good. She's been in the business for over 10 years in the UK. So she's like a vet, and we're really good friends, and we're like style wise we're very different, I think. Like she's really tall, and she's like super buff. I mean, I'm super buff, but like there's like a huge size difference,
All right.
So yeah, so it would be really cool to fight her at some point.
Yeah, I just looked up the
that's my number one pick.
Nice. I have to look her up because like I said, I'm a baby to this, so I'm still learning, but I'm going to look her up. I just looked up Eve over there in East London. Damn. This looks like a show
right?
I would really want to watch. Yeah. That looks good.
Me too.
That looks really nice. All right. So how about I kind of missed this question for one of the fans, but how about wrestling with no ropes or the mat only versus wrestling in the ring? How does it affect your style and how you approach your matches?
Those are two, like going underground and overground wrestling. That's two very different things for sure. It like having ropes and like having like a bouncy ring, it's quite something. Like you can do like style wise and technique wise, you can do a lot more, of course, because you have with you can play around with the ropes, you can get up the turnbuckle, it's like my moveset got so much bigger, and I love going up the top rope and doing, just jumping down like plancha, cross body stuff, or between the ropes 619, all that stuff you can't do when you don't have a ring,
Right.
So, of course, yeah, like the ring is just a different place. But I love underground as well because it's like it just represents a sort of freedom also, because you just have that little square, where or whatever it is, it doesn't have to be a square. We've had wrestling matches, just at festivals where they just put up just how do you say it? Like a little, like some floor, and then people, like
platform.
Tons of people would gather around it. Platform, thank you. We did that. We would do it, of course, in our cellar, where people can only watch from one side. That's very different. But the underground is just cool because you're so close to the audience, and you can just, you can, from wherever you're doing what you're doing, you can just jump right down into the crowd, and just, just a lot rougher. And you have to, you can play around a lot with what you have. It's just always very, very different and fun and dangerous, While I feel that whenever you have the ring, of course you can, there's plenty of possibilities, but people who book matches in rings tend to be a bit more, how do I say, more not stiff, but they have, it's like there's more a set of different rules, It just doesn't get that crazy. I feel, I don't know, the underground is a crazy place to me, where I can just, it's a playground. I do whatever the fuck I want to do.
Yeah, it's like a kumite.
Yeah,
it's like get in there, just fight. That's what it's about.
Yeah, exactly, like a fight club. Just smack each other around.
So yeah, I heard you mention earlier, I wanted to talk about some interests that you might have outside of pro wrestling. So I heard you mention that you play in a punk band.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I play. I mean, that's because you asked me before, like, how did I get to wrestling? You know,
Mhm.
basically, I I spend a lot of time on stages. You know, doing different stuff, doing like performances because I'm an artist as well. Like
Mhm.
I studied art. I have a master's in art, so I
Really?
would do that. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. I do a lot of different things.
Same. Fine arts.
So yeah, exactly. So that and then playing with the band, you know, that's something that that you know where I learned how to appear to a crowd, you know, which is extremely important when you're a
Right.
wrestler. So and that made my jump from one stage to the ring a lot easier, you know, because you know it's a similar feeling of adrenaline.
Hmm.
So but yeah, basically yeah, I play in a punk band. We're called the Death Row Groupies. I play guitar and I sing.
Hmm.
We're three people, but yeah, I mean COVID, you know, I haven't played in nearly a year now, and
Yeah.
it's heartbreaking, you know.
Well, if you've got some
I was
stuff, if you got some stuff online that we can check out, hit me up with the links. That'd be
sure,
great.
sure, I'll send it to you.
Yeah. So I know
It's good
here with
fun.
definitely, I know here with World Underground Philippines, we have a plan that we're working on. Hopefully, coming up next year, we want to invite you, Humongous,
Yes,
Chabella over.
yes.
And now that you mentioned that you play in a punk band, I'm kind of interested to see how hip hop and punk could mesh if we were to do a song together. So we can
They
do
mesh. They mesh
very
greatly
much. They
because
mesh so much.
I used to have a punk have a hip hop group as well, like
Oh,
rapping, and
nice.
we would also book shows. We
Uh-huh.
would book shows where like underground shows where you would have punk bands playing and then also rap, you
Hmm.
know, like hip hop acts, you know, and like mix things up.
Hmm.
And they fit they like, I mean, depending on the style, of course, but I feel punk and hip hop go great together.
They do. I
So
think, the thing is, and again, for anybody that's tuning in, you should really Google the origins of punk and Google the origins of hip hop. So they're both really rebellious art forms. So I think that's why they do mix well
yes,
together. So yeah, when you're here, we can record. I've got a studio set up. We can record and then do
yeah,
like
I'd love to.
a jam out after the show or something. Hell yeah.
All right, I love that sort of stuff. Let's do it.
That's what's up. That's what's up. All right, so
Awesome.
I know you got a match in the morning. You got to wake up early, so I don't want to take up a lot of your time, but I do
No worries.
sincerely. I thank you for uh, entertaining me and answering my questions tonight.
Sure.
Yeah.
Thanks. You had some good questions. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's from the fans. So yeah, definitely. Like I said, we've got a plan coming up next year. Once you guys are over, we'll do the music thing, we'll do the show, and
Sounds
we'll
great.
have some fun.
I'm super hyped.
Right on, right on. So yeah, hit me with
I hope it's
your.
gonna be soon, man.
I do. I know. I mean, I've been training here. We can't go to the gym because we're back on quarantine for some reason.
Damn.
So we can't go to the gym. I was there like last week,
But
rolling by myself. I have missed it so much. But
yeah, I can feel you. It must be so hard. It's like not being able to work out. That's a bitch. But I wish you good luck. I hope it's gonna be over soon. Most
yeah,
likely gonna be.
yeah, hopefully for all of us, we can move on,
Yeah,
have fun
really.
again. All right, so I'll
Yes,
let you go. Hit me with your links, your music,
will do.
your wrestling links, everything, so I can spread it out there for the
Will
fans.
do.
All right.
Thank you
Thanks,
so much.
Thekla. Right on.
No worries. See you soon.
Yes, ma'am.